Waldorf! The magnificent plushie! I think that's what it was.
It's a plushie, yeah. It's a plushie they got from the Fun Bear Faz Nights place, or whatever it's called.
Fun fact, back in the day they were not called plushies. As a new thing, they were called stuffed animals, which I like that there's a change. Anyway, Waldorf's journey. I was gonna say journal? What? You start off as a walrus on a platform, and there's not really much any other platforms around, so you can lob yourself into the air. Fly into the great unknown. Good fucking luck, loser.
Yeah, pretty much.
There are many things in the area, from shells to fish to prince or princess. I think it's a prince.
Princess Penguin, yeah.
Which is a shopkeep, item uses, and all this other stuff. It's kind of like if those like jumping games like Valbrace that we were talking about was, instead of vertical, it was horizontal, didn't have any sort of like falling platform shit, and it controlled like Angry Birds. I think the main thing that I wanted to point out about this particular game is its many cryptic signs that you find around the map.
They are coming for your teeth.
Yeah, it's a weird game. It takes place in the walrus's dream, which you'll notice whenever you die, which will happen quite often. And he goes back to sleep, and there's sorry for Waldorf's journey spoilers. At the end of the dream is an ancestor walrus who's like, Waldorf, dude, the humans are coming in their boats to poach your tusks for ivory. You have to warn everyone. The only way I can communicate is with these fucked up cryptic signs.
I left you a present inside the squids. An actual sign message.
No, that's a real one.
Do you even know my name yet?
Hey, next time you leave me a present, a box is fine, or like a bag.
I'm sure Mother could save you if she wanted.
Okay, I don't have anything more to say on Waldorf's journey other than its vibes are fucking whack.
I do. It's another environmental thing, because basically humans are coming to poach the freaking walrus teeth thing, but also imply the magic of the ocean and calling it mother and casting a spell to wash away their enemies. Pretty neat.
Oh my god.
What?
Now, alright, now, like, fuck you for being right. That I can't refute that one. That's pretty direct. That sure is true. Do you have anything else? Because that's a solid segue into the next one. Great. Next one is Porgy. I honestly don't want to spend very much time on Porgy because my full playthrough of it is on my streaming channel, and Piff is there, and we talk about it, and Piff guides me through the whole game. So you can literally watch the Let's Play. Porgy, it's another fucking Benedict Tune game, and you can tell because everyone's round, and you go in a submarine, and it's a Metroidvania where you need to pick things up and bring them back up to the surface, and the game it's so almost good. They keep having these ideas that are so almost good, like wandering bosses that you can kill anytime you want, that give you permanent inventory slot increases so you can have more upgrades on you. Really cool idea. And they fuck it up because you get to the last area and it's like, hey, did you get both of those inventory slot upgrades? Good, because you better use them for the flashlight and the oxygen tank thing. So functionally, you don't get any bonus. They're just the secret key that lets you be in the last area. And it's like, well, now I can't hold anything. It's like, suck my cock. I don't care. And it's like, all right. The way enemies interact with you and the way getting hit feels in Porgy feels so bad. I don't really like Porgy at all, even though it's like it really looks like a game I would like. But it is another environmentalism game. You get to him at the bottom of the ocean, and there's Alien. Alien is there, and he's like, lady, I saw that the ocean is mad because humans are killing it. So I gave the ocean power to make all of the creatures in it fucking cuckoo. They will kick your ass and they can fight back. And I don't know if a walrus were to summon a wave, it would probably work. I'm just throwing that out there. I pretty much don't have anything else to say. At the end of the game, the alien is like, I will give you powers, lady inside the Porgy submarine. And she goes, oh, my son, Shandar, who is a character the developers went to high school with, and he's in Hotfoot. And as far as I know, I think that's the only connection to that. And then the game ends, and it's like, okay, I wish that had been good. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say about Porgy, dude.
I love the vibes. The last area is fucking weird with eyeball walls and basically a Cthulhian creature at the end. I did actually like this game. I definitely can see it being annoying, specifically for needing to continuously go back to the top, which is a thing that happens in other games, which maybe not the best mechanic.
It's really weird that Porgy and Divers both exist. They don't iterate on each other, they just make almost entirely the same mistakes. It's really weird.
Yeah. But I did actually like this game. I approached it in a kind of different way. I didn't have all of the answers. I was still poking around trying to find things. And boss fights were like a lot more toe-to-toe instead of being able to just kind of like sit in front of it and just be like, I can take whatever damage is going thrown at me and just blow them up immediately. It was a much different biz. And I was like, I really love the boss fights in this. That's nice.
Yeah, the fights are good. Like, all Porgy needs is like a slight reworking of the way that upgrades are. Like, just some of them should be just permanently attached to the submarine. You shouldn't have them in your inventory. And I think there should be one refuel station under the ocean somewhere, just to save time. Like, it doesn't make the game easier or harder. It just makes it more tedious. And that's dumb. It's just dumb. It was a bad choice.
I generally agree, but I think it's a good like pastime game. Like if you wanted to like grind on something or just kind of like explore around, I don't think it is offensive enough to be something that you'd be like, ugh, this shit, which will probably happen later in this list of games.
It's like, it's not awful, but like I'm the kind of person who gets madder at an almost like a near miss of something I really like than something that I'm just like, oh, that's bad. So
that's fair.
Porgy, I shake my fist at Porgy.
Fair.
Also, it's around these games, I think it's in Waldorf's Journey, that the last name that you definitely need to know for the meta story comes in, which is Teo Nomura, who is the basically producer. He's like money. So he ends up becoming a guy who matters. He starts showing up and having influence in the games. Here, his name is kind of buried deep in the credits, at first in special thanks, and that's where it stays for a little bit.
Porgy is the first title released under the UFO Soft brand.
So they're UFO Soft now. Oh boy, Piff, what's next?
It's onion delivery! You're supposed to cheer. So onion delivery is you, a creature, are delivering onions to other creatures. And that's the entire game. Goodbye. Actually, how it works is that it is the original Grand Theft Auto game, number 1, the top-down driving biz, but you're stuck in the car, cannot leave it, and it's also Crazy Taxi. With those things put together, it seems like it'd be, like, interesting and maybe even a little good. The problem is, its massive spike in difficulty, both of the controls and of just the execution of doing these things, are very, very difficult. And then on top of that, once you beat quote-unquote level 1, which is actually just delivering things, which is already hard enough as it is, then it goes, yeah, do that again, but we're going to space out the areas that you go to even more and have random, like, obstacles that are so RNG that sometimes it can just decide your run to end.
Yeah, Onion Delivery's controls are slippery as fuck. It's really easy to bonk on the corner of an intersection and just, like, lose oodles of time trying to turn around and you hit 2 fucking cars. You can get HP back by driving fast, so the game encourages you to be nuts. It's hard. This is one of the 2 games I haven't cherried yet, just because, like, I don't want to sit down and lock into Onion Delivery for so long. To Onion Delivery's credit, it has really good music.
Yes.
I'll give it that.
This is like the saving grace.
If Onion Delivery didn't have a good soundtrack, it would be unplayable.
I remember myself being upset, staring at a screen, locked in and bobbing my head to the music.
Fucking Onion Delivery. This is the first game directed by Chiffon Bola, who, I don't know, if someone wanted to kill him because he made Onion Delivery, I'd understand. I'm just throwing that out there. Actually,
it was level design and programming. Director was Chun.
Was it? I swore this was Chiffon Bola's first
They
game.
might have been like...
Nope. Director Chiffon Bola.
Really? How did I get my notes wrong? Well...
Yeah, I remember because I was playing a game when I went along here trying to memorize the names of games that I had really strong thoughts on, and Chiffon had 2 really good credits to their name. Actually, Chiffon Bola's gender is a complete mystery. I assumed they were a woman for a while, but most text online I see says he or they, but it is just a guess. There is no affirmation anywhere. Because Chiffon to me is a girl's name, but yeah, I remember like seeing their name a couple times and being like, oh, Chiffon Bola, I like what you do, and then they did Onion Delivery. I was like, no, Chiffon, no. So I don't know if I have much more to say about Onion Delivery. There's a random event that happens every day, but I believe you do go through all of them in the pool across the week. It's funny because in the other games that have RNG elements, it's like, oh fuck, I got the hard one. Like there's one that's harder. Everyone in Onion Delivery is so bad. Like the rain is a nightmare. The flooding streets is a nightmare. The onion chasing you is bad. The gunfight gangsters is probably the easiest one to deal with. Zombies can really fuck you over depending on what happens. Like none of them are good. They're all rough.
Yeah, I will say zombies are probably the easiest one. I would say the flood, when everything's like kind of overflowing or whatever, the goo, is the most consistent.
It's consistent, but that one is worse depending on what stations you have that day. And if you crash out, you can actually respawn on top of certain flood spots, and it will just kill you again immediately.
Yeah. I would say that, like, at least driving around, like, you know where all of the, like, hazards are going to be, and they're the same hazards. The freaking giant thing running after you, the gunner, the fucking rain.
The rain feels malicious. Like, not only is it ugly, not only does it ruin everything and make the game way harder, but it also turns off the music just to spite you.
To put in the rain sound effect, and it is stark. I do love when the game does that, though, where it's just kind of like, and there's no music, or there's like a weird vibe here, or like it's off tune, and you're like, why is any of this?
Ugh. I hate Onion Delivery.
So, if you, viewer-listener, are to try to cherry this game, these are the 3 things that you're going to need to do. You're going to get used to the controls. You're going to have to master driving this car, which is tank controls, it's slippery, and also you're going to need to do nudge moves, which allows you to actually go left and right without actually turning your car. There's also a burnout sort of move, where you can kind of like spin around.
Yeah, I couldn't get the hang of it. Yeah, there's drifting, there's a 180-degree turnaround. It doesn't feel good. It's tough. It's really tough.
Yeah. Second, you are going to need to memorize the map. I'm sorry, you're going to need to do that, because you're going to have to map out exactly where you are to where you're going to have the best route for it, to also pick up all of the time boosties to allow you to, like, play the game to get the cherry. And you're going to need luck. You're just going to need it. There's just some runs that you're going to have the entire thing mapped out. You're going to have the complete controls, and then one rain puddle is going to make you slip, and then it's going to continuously spawn rain puddles on your feet, so you can't move anywhere. And then once you like backpedal to then be able to like drive over these things, because if you drive backwards you don't get slippery, you then try to like do anything else and you're still sliding around because they spawn more shit directly beneath you, and you can just get stun locked and lose.
Onion delivery is in my bottom 5 and my bottom 3, whichever we're doing.
Yeah.
Unsurprisingly, I hate this game. Caramel!
Yeah! Sort of.
Nope. Caramel is a shmup. You're one spaceship, and the spaceship's like, let's go on a trip, and they pick the worst places to go. They pick the laser planets with all of the lasers that want to shoot and kill them. Caramel's interesting little spice is that it has a photo mechanic. So, in front of you, about half a screen ahead, is your camera. And you can take a snapshot to freeze anything ahead of you, and you can blow it up for bonus points. Not a huge reason to do that, to be honest, unless it's a boss or a mini-boss. The points don't super matter, which is kind of a shame, because it's the start of a really cool mechanic, and kind of they don't really do anything with it. The most interesting thing it does is if there's an enemy on a wall and you take a photo, they get stopped in time and it knocks them off the wall and they fall down and die, which can be pretty useful if you get the drop on things in tight quarters before you have to navigate them. You've got a basic forward shot, you've got a charge shot that shoots donut rings that bounce around walls and can technically shoot behind you if you're hugging a wall. Walls don't damage you, thank God. This game would be impossible if they did, so remember to use them for cover. I thought this game was really, really hard, and then, I don't know, I took a break from UFO 50 for like a week, and I came back and I fucking beat Caramel like it was nothing. I don't know what happened that changed that. I think the first level of Caramel is the hardest one in the game. I don't really know why that is, but it's still the one I have the most trouble with. I think Caramel's difficulty, it's not unfair, but it comes from how the health bar doesn't exist. So you can take one hit and it makes you gray, and if you get hit when you're gray, you die. One time, about halfway through each stage, there is a red enemy. If you take a photograph of them, they drop a wrench, and you can pick that up, and it gives you either 1 health, so you go from gray to color again, or if you have your full health, you get a 1-up. 1-ups, not useful. That's why the first level is really hard, to be honest, is 1-ups mean nothing until later in the game, because if you die, you don't just continue from the same spot minus 1 life. You start the level over again, which is the same as starting the game over, and if you die in the first level, you really should just restart the game. Like, there's not a reason to persist. You're just going to be going forward with a deficit, and it's going to be harder to rack up extra lives through points because you've already hit the easiest checkpoint. It controls fine. There's a mini-boss in each stage. You can kill them if you want. You don't really need to. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a lot of positive feelings on Caramel. It's got a continue mechanic that one other UFO 50 game late in the game does this, and I don't get it at all. It's Campanella 3 has a very similar continue mechanic with a couple extra hits, and I don't know, it doesn't really work for me as far as shmups go. It plays fine. I'm sad there's not more to do with the camera.
Yeah. I think it utilizes its tools decently well. Like, the camera comes back relatively quickly. You can use it for score stuff. You can use it for damage stuff. There's the charge mechanic that allows you to do the, bouncing shots. There's the normal shot mechanic, which is just, doing the normal shot thing. And, all that generally works decently well, and there's a lot of, background stuff that you can kind of use with the camera system to gain more points as well. That being said, I didn't particularly like the game because I wasn't very good at it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think shmups overall are probably UFO 50's weakest genre. Caramel and Star Waspir both try something. I don't think either of them are successes. Whereas I think UFO 50 is usually pretty good at bringing in something that is not in every single game in its usual genre. Like Vainger coming up in a couple games. It's like a Metroidvania, but it does a cool thing with your power-ups where they can be equipped in one of 3 places and they each do something different. And it's oh, that's an interesting twist on it. Or even Porgy, where it's what if you had to keep going back up to the same spot in a Metroidvania and the whole game revolved around going back to the surface. And it's that's certainly an idea. And it's Onion Delivery, what if Crazy Taxi was unplayable? That's an idea, but Caramel doesn't really do anything with its photo mechanic, and that kind of sucks. I wish it was more Pokemon Snap. I honestly wish it was a score attack mechanic, that you really had to... I'd rather nail the camera and have that be what the cherry is based around. I don't know. I thought it was kind of boring.
I wouldn't call it boring. I would call it difficult for me. I don't think I've ever was just oh man, this is just dragging out. I was still, throughout the entire thing, engaged. Especially during boss fights. Jesus Christ. I remember dying a lot to boss 1 before I figured out the pattern.
Yeah, but again, I think, Boss 2 is really intimidating because there's a lot going across the screen, but, I don't know, man. That fucking egg, I just am not good at dealing with it.
Egg?
Ecstasy!
Also, another conspiracy theory. Middle stage, ghost? Death? Again?
You're really gonna... Whatever you're doing with this ghost thing, you're really gonna have to push it hard when ghosts are just such a prevalent theme for basic levels in video games.
Ghosts?
So I'm interested to hear. Listen, if you want to go egg, I'll be oh, egg.
What are you doing with that egg?
I don't know yet. Egg and me.
But if you're ghost, I'm gonna be yeah.
It's more that
water level. I don't know.
I'm still saying it's weird that most of the time the middle level in most of these games seem to be just about death stuff, and I'm I just think that's weird. It's strange that it keeps doing this.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's done it what, twice? What was the other one?
That was Campanella. The photo mechanic apparently was from Chu's side project that they were doing that is now canceled.
Benedict Chun had another game that didn't get made.
Photo Mom.
Or something.
Or his mom. And then it was cannibalized to make this game. I'm sure he doesn't feel anything about that. Party House.
Party House, dude. It's fucking Party House.
You know what? You can take Party House. I'll take on.
Alright. Party House is a hot contender for the best game in the collection, in my opinion. It's so simple. It's just a deck builder roguelike. I've also played this one on stream. I played it with Savvy. You can hear me discovering it in real time, and Savvy going, "Do the monkey," because she's savvy.
Yeah.
And like, obviously, don't do the monkey.
Don't.
It's not a good idea. I like Party House so much, I made a tier list for all of the cards in it because I love it. Party House is so fucking cool. It's so simple. They've got 5 pre-made like sets with all the different guys, and then it's like, here's a bunch of random seeds. How many times can you beat it in a row? And the answer was not as many as I would like, considering how much I play Party House, but I think it's so fun. There's so many different strategies, so many different synergies the guys have with each other. The idea is you start with a small house and you have 2 currencies you're trying to build up: popularity and cash. The ultimate goal is each game there are 2 different types of star guests. They're like special guys who it's like, you want to throw the ultimate party. You need 4 really cool guests at your party to throw that party. That could be like aliens, genies, ghosts.
What the? Ghost?
Mermaids, and it's just a random 4 from the pool, or a random 2, and you need 4 of them. But they're very expensive. So you need to build up your resources so you can buy at least 4 of them, ideally more than that, so you've got better chances to pull all 4 of them. Each round, you get a bunch of random guests from your Rolodex, because it's 80s themed, which is funny to see from something that was made in the 80s. I guess actually the graphic design is more 90s. Kind of funny. It's actually really 90s. Were they psychic? Are they stupid?
No.
A night ends prematurely if you get 3 troubles at your party. So some cards just have trouble by default, but trouble usually has a risk-reward mechanic. So it's like, this card brings trouble. Like I mentioned ages and ages ago, back in fucking Barbuda, I think, when we were talking about the band and loungewear forever. Sai, the rock star, who's just called Rockstar. Unless you're doing the Easter egg where you can see some of the guests have specific names because they're based on friends of the devs. So the Rockstar gives you like 3 popularity and 2 money, which is quite a lot. Whereas like a basic safe guest gets you 1 popularity. But the Rockstar also brings trouble. So it's like, you don't want to pull 3 troubles or the night ends. So if you have 2 on deck, it's like, oh fuck, do I end the night early? Do I take what little I can get and guarantee safety? What can you add to your deck that mitigates trouble? You can boot cards out with security or wrestlers. You can reshuffle the entire deck and like take everyone outside and have them come back in with grill masters and athletes. You can negate trouble entirely with like the therapist, or you can build a deck that benefits from high trouble and use the bartender or the writer. Also, the bartender Ace is based on a bartender from the bar where they had their Bushido Ball tournament, and Ace's name and the bar they were at, it's like the Wild Antler or something, shows up in the credits of a bunch of games and special thanks. Just another little fun connection to most stuff. And that's who the bartender in this game is based on. It's Ace. Like, that's cute. And actually, this is probably the closest thing to a rabbit hole I got to in UFO 50, and it's like really just like a ditch compared to whatever I'm sure Piff's gonna get into near the end of this. But after Night Manor, insanely Night Manor is connected to Party House is connected to way more games than Party House should be connected to. And I was trying to figure out if the protagonist of Night Manor was one of the guests you can see in Party House, and I personally think no. But the unseen protagonist of Party House is a playable character in other games. And technically the antagonist in Minnie and Max, which is so fucking funny. Party House is incredible. It has so much depth. It's so fun. It is my most played game. I have played so much Party House. I want to play Party House right now.
So here's the thing. Every single one of these games feel like that they're a separate game from each other. Like, if you're playing one game or another game, you'd be like, oh, these are just kind of unconnected, just like games. They're just games being games. Porgy is connected in like 2 game separation to Party House.
That's true, yeah.
It is astounding that you can actually connect so many of these games together and then once the branches start reaching out, you realize almost every, if not like all of the games are of the same universe, but in like different times or something like that.
It's like, it's the type of thing where it depends how much tinfoil you want on your hat of...
They'll never get my brain.
I hand my tinfoil to Piff and give him a second hat.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, well, the characters in Party House are based on friends and loved ones. These games from the beginning have been having fun little nods to people in, like, Magic Garden. If you do a specific thing, the scoreboard says, like, I love you, Jessica, or something. Jessica is the name of Benedict June, the director's wife. Jessica is also the basis for one of the characters in Party House, because most of the people in Party House are just people they fucking know. The next game, Hotfoot, is literally their class in, like, elementary school. So it ends up having a lot of the same characters. And then when they're, like, being cheeky in other games, and it's just like, let's just throw our friend in there for funsies, I think you could very easily make the argument, it's just like, they're just having fun, and it's just fun to put, like, people love putting their cat in the same game. But at the same time, people are gonna be like, but that connects them. It's officially the same universe, which means the darkness that happens in Night Manor canonically happens in Minnie and Max. And it's like, I don't think that gels at all. Like, I know they both mention this same entity or whatever, but, like, let's all calm down. And you kind of have to draw your own lines between, like, hey, how much of this is just fun and how much of it is interconnectivity for the sake of it. And I will say, I do think UFO 50 is doing all of it on purpose, and I think they are purposefully doing some where it's just like, this is something they would do for fun, and purposefully some to be like, or is it just for fun? And I am content to be annoying and skeptical and keep it where it is for the most part, but that'll be fine. Piff and I can be a dual act.
Yeah.
and you can vote on your phone. Vote now on your phones at the end of this to see what you think. Anyway, Party House rules.
My notes on Party House is, it also rules. It's definitely one of the best games of the list. It is very surprising it's not on my top 5, even though it is still a 5 out of 5 game.
Mm-hmm. There's definitely more than 5 out of 5 games on here, for sure.
I think it is still fascinating. I'm going to bring this up probably quite a few times. The amount of variety in this... It's a deck builder! Like, when you thought of, like, either retro games or 50 games in this, did you think there was a deck builder in here? If you count up the genres that have just been done so far, there's probably, like, 20 out of the 25 that we've done.
Yeah, no, it's pretty crazy.
And we're only, like, halfway through. I hope even just from this point, you understand how the reason, at least one of the reasons, why I'm so crazed about this game. So, I took this from Joe. It was on purpose. I wanted him to know that I loved Hotfoot.
Oh, really? Oh, God. Hotfoot sucks.
So, I thought that Hotfoot was really cool just because, like, there were so many times where, like, characters would talk to each other, like they knew each other. And, like, there were, like, rivalries and, like, alliances and so many, like, weird intricacies of just, like, this is what this person feels about that person. That didn't really, like, happen in a lot of these other games where there is so much personality on these, and there's a reason why for that, which we already discussed. And I do not want to go through and point out every single character and the connection between all of them. But for you who love hats...
Real quick, before you get into the hat shit, can I just say that I thought you might want to take this game from me? I was like, I bet Pip's gonna want to talk about the meta bullshit all over Hotfoot. So...
For those who want to do the tinfoil thing, I just want to say, do your own research. Go down the rabbit hole on your own. I will not waste everyone's time doing that shit. Because there's plenty out there. You can very easily have characters connected to other characters. It's like one of the straightforward lines in UFO 50. You don't need me to tell you. That being said, this game's hard. Especially to Cherry.
Oh, yeah.
for people who are looking to cherry the game, one of my personal favorite things to tell you about that is you can just pick your characters. That's a thing you can do. The number one option is, like, randomize things, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. I didn't even understand. It was just like, do you want to draft or pick your character? I was like, what's the difference? And I did them. I was like, why the hell would I do this?
So, each character has, like, 2 abilities. Like, one where they kind of have, like, a super shot, and another one that they have some sort of, like, weird ability, like, being able to magnetize a bag to themselves or something like that to, like, grab it for their own. But also, they have unique stat things. Like, the guy with the eye patch, I think, like, whenever they, like, pick up things, take longer to pick up something than other characters.
Jerry is the guy with the eye patch. I wonder, it's Jerry Smolsky. The devs are in this game, and you can play as them. Jerry's power is that he has wider shots than everyone because his wiggle when he throws it.
Yeah.
He's actually one of the better characters. He's pretty good.
Yeah, but when he picks up an item, it takes longer frames. He gets, like, stunned longer whenever he interacts with an item on the ground. There's small things between each of the characters which are kind of neat. But the way to play this game is to basically control both of the characters.
Ugh, yeah.
And to always, like, try to have the AI as something that you basically, like, store your stuff with, or, like, keep it away. I can't remember specifically what.
Yeah,
like,
you press one button to change between the 2 of your characters who you're controlling both of. The AI will wander around aimlessly and do nothing good ever, and get hit all the time by the beanbags the coach throws. And then you'll lose and have to start over again and do the fucking cherry from the beginning. So what you want to do is pick shit up and then rapidly switch over to the other character and pick shit up as them. So you've got basically 2 shots loaded in the bank. Oh, by the way, Hotfoot, it's toe tag. If you've ever played toe tag where you throw beanbag, it's like dodgeball with beanbags that are thrown on the ground and you try and hit each other's feet. That's all the game is. And it's like Bushido Ball a little bit in that it's like 2 sides of a divided stage, and all the characters have slightly different mechanics. They've all got a special move. Like, some of them can blow wind, which shoots the beanbags to the other side and can deal with a fuck ton of damage, etc., etc.
Yeah. There's so many abilities and so many strategies, but I do think that there's, like, one consistent, really good one. I can't remember what specific one it was, but it was, like, the ability to jump over, like, shots gave you, like, a full star instead of, like, half a star or something like that.
That's pretty good.
That character is busted, like, immediately.
Yeah, I just used 2 girls that both had wave abilities, and then I would, like, stack their shit and just have ocean swells destroy. Oh my god, is it the Waldorf wave? Is it all connected? Oh fuck. Pan me your tin foil.
Here, you can have a hit.
Baked to perfection.
There's also a fucking monkey that can happen, and a robot.
Yeah, at the start of the game, if you're doing draft mode, the game picks a certain number of characters, and the last one starts crying, and then they show up as the final boss at the end of the tournament. Like, no one picked me, so I built a robot to win at toe tag, and then eventually there's also, like, a monkey, and they're, like, the secret characters you can only get with the terminal commands.
I thought that there was enough input stuff and, like, intricate gameplay that I actually enjoyed the, like, trying to figure out, like, the strat of how to, like, approach every single thing. And, like, the traps, as well as, God, I sure was the player that, like, hugged the front line and would just get nailed in the side of the head by the coach.
Yeah, I fucking can't stand the coach, dude. It's exhausting. And there's that one character who's dressed as the mascot, and it's the same mascot as the one in Party House. There's a mascot character. It's all the same school. Listen, I think the connectivity is cute because I like them just being like, yeah, we made a game about our high school friends. It's some of the other shit that I've seen people say online that I'm like afraid you're building to, that I'm like so ready to throw the tinfoil in the garbage. I'm like, calm down. But we'll see. I truly, it's such like a 50-50 shot if you're going to go as far as some of the people I've seen. But I am curious to see. Also, I keep looking at the toe tag bean baby, and I keep going like, that's almost a moon cat if you give it some green seaweed legs.
It could be a moon cat. It's all connected.
Could be a moon cat. It's all connected, dude. I was playing as the mascot for a little bit, and it's like the coach favors this team, and what that means is he throws the beanbags a little bit towards your side so the other players can't get them. Except that means he beans your AI for damage constantly, and it's like, ah!
The AI? No, me. I'm up there. I'm getting it. I'm
both of you. It fucks both of you over. It's awful.
My favorite is having the beanbags as bait, where I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Pick up the beanbag, and they're like, this one? And I slam them in their face.
Yeah, that works pretty well. I also really love... I don't remember where it is. It's like, I think it's in Bug Hunter. There's an Easter egg code that's like... Edgar Willoughby or whatever his name is sucks eggs or some shit, and it's like, what is that crap? And then if you play this game and you play as Jerry, who's the director of the one-eyed director of Bug Hunter, there's this fucking school bully named Edgar who like makes fun of him. It's like, oh, he was dissing his high school bully. It's like, I'm sorry, did you make a game where your high school bully is in it so you can beat him up? That's wild, dude. Go to therapy.
This was the 80s.
I know, but like that's the kind of connectivity that I think is fucking funny. Like, I like that sort of stuff. Oh, the fucking... Did I already say the host of Party House is in this one too? It's Amy. Amy is the host of Party House. Yeah.
Yeah. So, divers, because I'm gonna dive on this one instead of Jello.
You're gonna dive on it, eh?
I'm gonna dive on it. It's surprisingly an RPG. It's got stats, you got turn-based things, and there's also a whole bunch of shit you don't know of, like where to go, what stats do, and they give you a shop with some money, and God help you if you actually purchase anything and equip your
please
characters.
understand, the game doesn't start in the overworld. It's like, what do I do? Maybe I'll go into the shop. It opens up in the shop, and it's like, do you want to spend money? The answer is no. It's a trap.
The answer is yes, but good luck finding out what you need to buy. What I did, which was actually very surprising in retrospect, was I bought things, went over, found out whatever the fuck I just bought and what it actually did, went, oh, I understand what all this is, and restarted my game within, like, the first 5 minutes to then
That is the
right
smart way to
things.
do it. That's honestly the best way to engage with divers if you're not looking at a guide.
And then, explore. It's a game about literally just exploring, because how you get further in the game is finding out how to like open up more areas. There's also just like power-ups that you find in chests that are give you significant boosts to get past certain things.
There's a missable chest 10 feet from the opening area that gives you double swim speed.
Oh, oops.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I got that one.
No, it's pretty fucking missable.
It's a pretty tinfoil hat game, just because like.
Yeah, who made this one, Piff?
Oh boy, is it my boy? Is it the boy?
Is it the Mooncat Barbuda guy? Yeah, it is.
It is only by him. Oh, fun.
Yeah, no, this is the last one in like the Just by Him trilogy of Mooncat Barbuda and divers. I actually didn't know he did Warp Tank. It makes sense in retrospect, but
I think he does other.
He
ones,
does, but like these are the three I think of being his.
Yeah. Also, weirdly, there's okay. So there is collectibles that you can find around that has the Barbuta. It has the Mooncat in there, I think.
It's just a Mooncat
there. And then, like, the head of the thing that you're already swimming around with.
The diver head.
As another collectible. The diver head. There's also weird items that you can... An item in there called God Blood. And that will become very confusing later.
Yeah. Strange. There's a whole area in the bottom left corner of the map that's just like a recreation of an area in Mooncat There's no power-ups in there or anything. There's no reason to be in there. It's got unique music. It's like just a Mooncat tie-in.
You can also purchase like 6 eggs.
Sure you get enough eggs?
Yeah, I want to be safe, so I ordered a gross.
A gross? Stu, that's 6 eggs.
Oops.
Give me the tinfoil. I needed that. There's a lot of like piece by pieces, kind of how you're supposed to like get through it. I'm gonna skip all that stuff until you get to the fucking end, where it becomes weird red goo area that suddenly has music, I think.
There's music the whole game, but it's really quiet and minimalist.
And then, at the bottom of all that, is basically some sort of weird red goo monster they have to defeat, and it's kind of difficult unless you have like a particularly good strategy or just out-leveled him or something. And once you defeated all that, an orb comes out of the goo, and an eye and a mouth opens up from the orb, and they swim away, and it just goes end with weird fish that happen when the Mooncat like dies and comes back, where there's like a blank screen and just has weird fish floating past as the same fucking fish. And I go, okay, I'm connecting the dot between this weird orb thing that's here and the orb all the way back at Barbuda that they seemingly saved from this red goo. I'm going to leave my tinfoil here and point very hard at the orb, what that represents, which I've already said earlier, and the goo. The goo is going to be very important, and also the second tick, very similar to Warp Tank in this weird corruption thing. I'll leave it at that.
Fuck, you are convincing me on a little bit of tinfoil stuff. We gotta kill this guy. So Divers is a bad game, and you know it's a bad game because it's an exploration RPG. My 2 favorite genres, and I hated it. And I actually had so little fun playing it and thought it was so slow because it's an old school RPG to the truest degree, which is to say the numbers are all wrong. You could fix this game by changing numbers, and that's my ultimate pet peeve. I hate it when games are old and you just need to grind. It's just like, you could have just started this well, but you didn't want to test anybody because you're doing your weird tinfoil dream games, Thorson Peter, so it's just like, no, the Divers, you don't understand. It's just like, man, why is the game like this? And it's like, you can buy more items, but only if you have the artifacts alongside the money.
The drop rates are so bad.
The drop rates are completely unacceptable. A whole game plus 6 levels of grinding just for the final boss, because that's not statted correctly either.
I skipped most of those levels. I think I was underleveled when I did it. There's some weird item
you're
combination
definitely
I was using.
underleveled when you get to the final boss, no matter what you do. But a whole game later, and I had like, I don't know, like 1 or 2 of some of the artifacts, and it'd be like, you need 5 for this item, and it's like worse than something I've had for 3 hours, and it's like, hey, what are you doing? Like, did you play this at all? And Divers has all of Porgy's issues with like the slow climb and the slow descent and coming back to it. But like, I actually think it works better in Divers because at least Divers' vibe the whole time is like scary and sad and lonely and like inscrutable, whereas Porgy looks like a children's book. And then at the bottom, it's like, but what if Cthulhu? And Divers is just like, dude, kind of everything is Cthulhu. Also, I'll mention this now since... Do you have anything more to say on Divers before I move to Rail Heist?
There's cool, like, background things where there's, like, statues and remnants of the past and neat things like that.
The Campanella is in there, too. It's crashed at one point, but, like, the Campanella's in, like, every game. That's the name of the red UFO. I don't know if we said it. Why do they call them bells? Whatever. So, more meta stuff. Probably the single most pivotal moment in the company's history happens at this time. In Hotfoot, that's the last game that Jerry Smolsky, one of the original 3 directors, that's the last one he works on. A little while ago at Waldorf, I mentioned this guy named Teo Nomuru. Teo is the piggy bank that keeps the company afloat here. And it seems they were kind of waffling and having some issues. And the directors were like, what do we do? Do we let this outsider guy in who can basically functionally purchase creative shares in our company? In exchange for his money, he gets a bigger and bigger hand in the creative process, and that will probably affect our games eventually. Jerry Smolsky said, no, I don't think that's worth it. I don't want to do it. I don't think we should do that. And Benedict Chun is like, we need to. It's a tough choice, but let's do it. So they end up splitting over that, and around Hotfoot, Jerry leaves the company, and that's the last game he works on. He's got Easter eggs in it that are like, goodbye, I'm leaving. There's one where if you've used a specific code to pit him against the character who is Benedict, he explicitly says to him, sorry, I'm leaving, you messed up, you let the parasites in. I don't want these people in our company. So Jerry leaves and he is gone. And from this point forward, I don't think we need to make a point of remarking on it as it goes on. I will just tell you, there is a linear increase of where Teo Nomuru's name is in the credits. It starts at the bottom in special thanks, and starting at Rail Heist, it's always the first name you see. It supersedes director as producer, and near the end of the UFO 50 list, no names are in the credits except Teo's. And occasionally his brother Winston, who also gets added to the company, is basically the same role later. So that's just something to think of. The creative iron grip of a hand has gotten around a company, and it will start to close over the back half of its games. It's better to mention that now, I think, than at the end.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, you gave me Rail Heist. That's so nice of you.
Yeah.
Rail Heist rocks. Rail Heist is a stealth? I don't know what genre this is. I saw someone call it XCOM. Stealth, semi-turn-based platformer game. You control one of three, sometimes multiple of three train robbers in a bunch of different train robbery levels. Your goal is to sneak through the train using platforming and guile and punching through walls and entering through back ways. You can shoot, you come in with one bullet and it's like, guys, buy some more bullets. What are you spending all this train robbery money on? But you come in with one bullet, and if you take a single point of damage, you die and have to restart the mission. And you have to sneak through past lawmen who are between you and a box of treasure, which I guess canonically should be called teeth, now that I think about it. Which is because that's the currency in Grimstone, and this is the same universe as Grimstone. So
Yeah.
I guess it could be before they get teleported to hell, but who cares? Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I love Grimstone so much. So I was playing it, I was like, this is fun and kind of tricky. It's like a little bit of a puzzle. It's like a stealth game. It's like a little Hitman. It's a lot Hotline Miami. So once you're spotted, a timer starts ticking down. Yeah, like every mission is timed. You only have between 60 seconds and 2 or 3 minutes to get through a whole train. Get in, get the money, and leave. Sometimes it's better to kill people in your way. Sometimes it's better to sneak by them. If a guard sees you, a timer starts ticking down every, I think it's 9 seconds. And once they go, at the end of 9 seconds, you freeze in place and guards run towards you. And if you are in their line of sight from a very far distance away, they will shoot and kill you immediately at any point. So it's like a game about using barrels to hide or ducking down so they run past you. And there's auto defense mechanics. If you're at the top of a ladder with your gun out and it's loaded, which is a manual thing you have to do, it is not loaded by default. Then they can run up the ladder and you can shoot them as they come up, so you can play defensively, or you can punch them to stun them for a couple seconds. And at the end of each level, you get a little sheriff star in the middle for beating it under a specific time frame. And I was like, oh, okay, it's got a basic victory, and then like a time trial victory. That's cool. And it's like the sheriff star, and there's like 2 empty black sheriff stars on the menus next to it to like mirror it and do a design. And I was like, that's cool. And then I was like, God, can I like replay the first or second level now that I've done 2 or 3? Do I get anything if I kill all of them? I can do this safer and faster. Let me kill all of them. And then one of those other sheriff stars fills in. It goes, you did the kill everyone route. I was like, what? Oh my God, does every level in this game have 3 win conditions? Let me do another one where I do a pacifist run, and you get another sheriff star for doing that. And some levels, like the pacifist run is super easy and the killing everyone run is super hard, and vice versa. And sometimes those are both easy, but the time trial is really tight. And Rail Heist is awesome. Like, it takes a little while to get used to the controls and the flow of it, but like, man, it feels really cool when you start getting into it. And there's also some solutions that are crazy in Rail Heist that if you like look at speed runs and stuff, it's like, how did anyone even think to do that? That's nuts.
Yeah. I think Rail Heist is one of the strongest games in UFO 50. I think it is one of the funnest games in UFO 50. It is not in my top 5, and that is saying something. Mm-hmm. It's definitely my top 10. Like, it's insane. There's so many good things in this game, and so many times where you just pick this up and be like, this is the most amazing thing that I've seen, and you pick up something else and like, no, I think this one's the most amazing thing I've seen.
Yeah.
And again, 1 out of 50 games.
Rail Heist has a lot of levels, too. It's a pretty long game.
25 or something like that?
It's huge. And also... Yeah. Oh my, it's so nice. I was like, man, some of these are really tough. And it goes, for the cherry, you need a vast majority of it's like 80 to 85% of the stars, but you don't need all of them. You don't need to do everything. It was like, that's so fucking merciful. Oh my God, thank you. And I got to move on from it. When Rail Heist works, it feels like that same flow state in a level where you kick ass in Hotline Miami. It feels so good.
Oh my God, the amount of times where like I would like weave around something just so, and then end like a split second like just huddled behind like a box where like it is perfectly placed so a person like would leap over and then not see me drop down, and then I'd like punch their ankles.
This single addition of the fact that you can punch through and break through any floor and any ceiling in the game pretty much adds so much. Like, you really do feel like a spy sneaking through. It feels great.
There's so many routes, so many avenues, so many ways to approach every single thing, and I loved every single bit of it. It is well built from top to bottom.
And then one of my favorite games is next.
Vainger. This is a Metroid game. Not a Metroidvania, a Metroid game.
Yeah, it is just Metroid.
And you play as basically this person that was put in stasis for a while for unknown reasons, and you got reactivated to save the station in a very not so subtle way of what real life is doing in this.
I guess we'll just say this explicitly since Piff keeps hinting at it, but like, you know, in Hotfoot, it's like, okay, you added these parasites who are going to take over the company, and then he leaves the company. The next game is Divers, which ends with the fucking singular eyeball that represents Jerry Smolsky flying away from the red goo taking shit over. Obviously, these producers, it's not going to be good, and all of Vainger is just that fucking goo takeover virus shit.
Yes. Now, before I get to all of my tinfoil shit again, the base of Vainger is really cool. You have, like, elemental things that you can equip to, like, one of 3 things. Like, either your, like, feet, head, or chest.
Yeah, it's your gun, your armor, or a drone that floats with you, basically.
And all of those have distinct different things that they do, and all of them are, like, neat and cool combos, and you can equip specific ones to get through, like, puzzle sections and areas and whatnot. I think it is a fantastic game that really needs quick travel.
That's fair, yeah.
Right. Tinfoil hat. Alright. So, the last person is also generally corrupted by this. There's a whole bunch of messages around the area about, like, this thing trying to basically get into the system, control people, and promising power. And the last boss is a similarly, like, sort of robot-y-esque thing to you, where you're kind of like this bug in some way. I think it's like
the Vainger suit looks like a bug.
Is it more closely to like a dragonfly, maybe?
I don't think it looks like any real bug, to be honest. It looks like a praying mantis head on a guy's body. It doesn't really match any of the other bug iconography other than looking buggish.
Mantis. Egg.
Eggs.
Feet.
Feet. The last boss is in this sort of mech suity thing that has a visual connection to a grasshopper's. At least for the head. That will come up later.
Oh, this is a chiffon bola game. That makes sense. I was like, who directed this one? That's the onion delivery person. Just as an example, like, Vainger's equipment is so elegant. It's like, I want to steal it. So you get a singular power-up, and it's like, okay, so now, let's say you've got, let's do the basic one. You've got the fire power-up. This can give you a basic power-up on your gun. Great. Does twice as much damage. Or you can put it on your armor, and it gives you heat resistance, so you can easily travel the areas that are, like, on fire. And then the drone... Oh, you know what? It's not it's like a flip. So when you're using your gravity flip powers, because this is a gravity flip game, that's your principal method of moving around.
That's your jump. How could I forget about that? Jesus Christ, it's so cool.
It is the whole game, yeah. Listen, all of your gravity brain is taken up by your love of Warp Tank. So...
And this is not instantaneous either, which is it's a distinction between the two.
That's true, yeah. Warp Tank is like an instant teleportation, except if something's blocking it, it'll still kill you, like during the teleport laser, but you just appear on the other side. Vainger, you actually fall between the top and the ceiling, so you can chain it so you kind of fly, which is good in certain situations. Yeah, like the fire one creates like orbs around you. I don't remember what the third power is, but certain areas can only be accessed when you've got like two powers combined in a specific way. Also, there are power-ups that are like additions to your suit where it's like, now you can have more than one of these little consoles on the same thing. So maybe you need to get through here, you need the electric ability that allows you to dash through electrical shit immediately when you're using your gravity flip. But you also need this thing on your, like, I can't think of a good example, I'm so sorry, but like, you also need the fire thing on your armor if you want to get this like power up that's in that flip hallway. And it's like, oh, I couldn't do that normally, but now I can do that because I've got this power up. And it's pretty open. You can do the 3 areas in mostly whatever order you want. A lot of the things are like, you can go through this fire burny area if you would like to, but you'll be taking damage the whole time. So, you know, your call. And yeah, Vainger is like the most solid game so far, I think. I think its controls and conceit are pretty much perfect. It's not my favorite game either, but I really like it.
It's good. It's really good. I loved playing it. Like, fighting the final boss and just being, like, next to them and doing, like, weird, rapid, like, flip things.
Do
do
so
a
much
bunch of
damage.
weird
It feels great.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's a pretty easy
I just wish-
Metroidvania, too. Like, compared to real Metroid or Castlevania games, I think it's a really approachable difficulty.
I just wish it had fast travel.
I
That's all I would.
don't disagree with you. I think that would be nice.
Right, that's it for me on that one. Tinfoil done.
Okay. Rock on Island. This is a wave defense, tower defense kind of game. You're a caveman. There's a bunch of dinosaurs. The dinosaurs run on a path from their spawn to your cave. You want to kill them before they get there. You play a girl who walks around named Zola. She can bop. She can hop. She can't hop, that would be nice. But she can bop. You get a certain amount of resources every turn. It's your choice to figure out, like, oh, where do I put the cavemen for this? Where's the best place? What do I upgrade? The different cavemen. It's a tower defense game. The cavemen have different abilities that branch out into different upgrades. So, like, you can give them a spear. And the spear can upgrade into... Actually, you can give them fire. That's a better example. And fire deals a little less damage than other weapons like a spear, but it pierces through armor, and there's like certain dinosaurs that have armor, like a Stegosaurus, so you definitely want some fire guys. And then you can upgrade them to Fire 2, which is like a flamethrower, or you can upgrade them to a tar guy who hits targets and slows them down, and if they are tarred, they take more damage from fire. It's weird. I ended up starting not liking this game very much. I've never really been a tower defense guy. Okay. And I think it's pretty difficult, mostly because a lot of the maps are quite wide or tall, and they go past the bounds of the screen. So there's a lot of trial and error where you will just get mollywopped by parades of guys you have no fucking clue they're coming, because that's just the kind of game it is. So you kind of have to do a couple demo runs to see, like, where are the guys gonna be. But and then the last level of Rock on Island is harder than the rest of the game combined. Yeah. And I believe up to that point, Rock on Island took me 5 hours. And the final level took me 10 hours to beat on its own. Okay, to be clear, I was trying to cherry it. Which means you can take 0 damage. But, like, I was trying to cherry everything. So that's always the lens I'm talking through. And somehow, by the end of it, I was like, I love Rock on Island, even though it had given me one of the hardest times. I think it's like, when you really get into, like, its upgrade chains and shit, it can feel really good. It feels really cool to be nailing a level. It's almost always a good idea to upgrade your, like, almost every level's early game requires on you positioning Zola correctly, rather than positioning your little guys. I don't play a lot of tower defense, but that, to me, is a unique mechanic. Maybe I'm off base.
I'll jump in. So, modern tower defenses actually do have a hero character. So if you'd play, like, oh shit, what is that game called? I don't say Defense Heroes, that's not it. It's old by now.
Defense Heroes.
Shit. Sure, I'll just call it Defense Heroes for now. So Defense Heroes has, like, a hero character, and they have skills, and they're basically their own, like, tower unto themselves, along with the towers that you, like, set up. That's actually semi-normal, like, Orcs Must Die, I think, have that as well.
Okay, then I just didn't know that. But, yeah, I like it. I thought it was fun. It's pretty brutal to cherry. It is not forgiving. You can't take any damage. It's easy to have 1 pixel over a line and get clipped by a guy and take 1 damage on your hero character. My tip to you, if you're playing this, archers are OP. Yet again, they've got the best range in the game, they fire constantly, and they do a shit ton of damage.
I'll also put down spears.
Spears are good.
Spears become essential at late game. I found the name of the game, Dungeon Defenders. Very generic. So, yeah, I've played a lot of tower defense games, and I'm like, there's not really much you can really do to, like, shuffle the genre around. And then the screen scrolled, and I'm like, wait a second. Not showing me all of the information is something that tower defenses never do. They never do that. Oh, shit.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call that, like, a cool perk, though.
I wouldn't call it a cool perk, but it is an obstacle I was not expecting.
Yeah. This game also, the ending, it's like a war between cavemen and dinosaurs, and it ends very like, we should not fight. Let's shake hands and work towards the future and be friends, which is also a very UFO 50-y kind of thing. A lot of Benedict Tunes games, and, like, that's how Magic Garden ends, too.
Yeah. I think also those, like, dinosaurs might also be the dinosaur god things from the
Maybe it's weird because there's 6 dinosaur gods in Avianos, and then there's 4 final boss dinosaurs who are barely fucking in it. I mean, if you make it to the second half of the last level is so much easier than the first half. But they don't match up exactly. It's like one of the 4 is wrong. And it's like frustrating. I've seen a lot of other people. It's like, why did they do that? Why aren't they just the same? It makes me so angry.
Okay. So I guess I was just kind of guessing. It's like, wait a second, are they?
No,
like,
yeah, it feels like it should be related to Avianos, but I think humans and mammals are just gone in Avianos' lore. Avianos only gets a callback in Cyber Owls.
Oh boy, are we done with Rock on Island?
I got nothing more to say about it. Yeah.
All right. Pingolf. Its main thing is that you get a button to do big donkeys with.
I don't like the phrase big donkeys, Piff.
You don't like big donkeys?
No, it sounds like a gross Dairy Queen special they'd try really hard to push for 2 years. Like, big donkeys, big donkeys, you gotta dunk them. And I'd be like, it's stuck in my head at work or some shit. I don't like it.
Big donkeys, big donkeys.
Thanks to a trying court battle, Big Donkeys is back, and with new flavors like Edible, The Devil's Handshake, and Asphalt.
Big donkeys, big donkeys.
Big Donkeys is available for a limited time and will kill again.
Okay. I think there's actually a lot with this, with basically the area being a lot more clever than I first assumed. Like, oh no, this is a pit that like just has my ball fall down and I lose a stroke or whatever. And then I look at it again and go like, wait, no, that's water. What if and then you shoot across it and there's like water tension. And it's like a surface. And then you can ramp off of other things to make it... It's a lot more like, oh, the level is actually mapped out in a way for you to do some sick shots with this. I love this.
Pingolf is very much a game for people who love whittling the execution of like a skill shot kind of level and figuring out exactly how good you can do, because the levels are way better thought out than they appear to be, but you do have to take like one of 2 really exact paths, and they're usually not very obvious, and they usually involve a lot of like very precise dunking and banking mechanics that are super hard to figure out.
Big dunking. Big donkeys.
Big donkeys.
You can play as Alpha in this game, I think.
Yeah, you get like a lot of really cool characters to play as. They don't really do anything other than like they look different.
No,
they don't really have like a lot of lore when you like.
It's your ball color. There's nothing going on in this game.
Like you get the character doing the swing, but like who cares? I love the execution of this game. I love the weird vibes that it has every once in a while. I would say that about the entirety of UFO 50. That is the spice that I love in UFO 50, where it's just kind of like, oh, this is like actually just strange. And I love constantly going back into, well, like, what else do you got? And they're like, this thing. And like, whoa, what the hell is this thing? The music is sometimes off tune or just completely cuts out, or like in the background just droning, and you're just like, what is this weird feeling? Because almost every other game that like I've played other than UFO 50 is just trying to like, this is the straightforward, here is the like feeling that you should have music. Here's like background to like an action movie, something that nobody cares about. And then you go to UFO 50 and they're like, no, we're gonna make you feel weird. Here we go.
Yep, I don't really have anything to say on Pingolf. It is thoroughly not for me. I did my time in the Golf with Your Friends achievement hunting mines, and I don't want to go back there. So I did this one as fast as I could and threw it behind me.
Okay.
Mortol II is next. So Mortal 1 is sort of a Lemmings platformer. Mortal 2 is, obviously Benedict Chun is, you know, we mentioned very briefly that Mortal was his idea, and then Jerry Smolsky was the one directing the game because Benedict was working on Valbrace, which is that sort of like Space Pirate Alpha platformer that I crashed out at. So instead of the original concept, which is you start with a set number of guys and they are whittled down over the course of the game, can you make it to the end? It's more of a, pull, like, you can get more dudes the better you do, and you can keep your numbers up. Mortal 2 is closer to the original concept. It's darker. The idea is that the old evil that was sealed away at the end of Mortal 1, someone in the castle is using it again, and the brave people willing to sacrifice themselves have soldiered back up, and they're gonna go. And this one, I would say, is more of a... Yeah, it's kind of a Metroidvania. You don't get power-ups, but you do need to go to certain places to advance the game and press switches, like Super Mario World-style colored switches that activate blocks throughout the rest of the world. And instead of each of your guys being an identical little soldier who can use one of 3 different powers, in Mortal 2, you have 5 different guys, each of whom can only use 1 power. So there's the standard soldier who can turn into a stone block. Actually, my least favorite thing about Mortal 2 is the way the stone blocks work. You can use them as mid-air platforms, which I'm sure has some cool utility, but I miss them falling down and being big damage. I thought that fucking ruled, and it felt so good, and they don't do that anymore, and that's a bummer. There's the gunner, who rules. They just can shoot far, and if they die, their sacrifice ability is turning into an ammo pack, an infinite restoration ammo checkpoint. And the middle 3 characters all have limited ammo, so the gunner can only shoot for so long unless another gunner has died next to him and he can pick up the ammo pack. This can be really useful for bosses. There's sort of mini bosses all over the world. There's 3 of them. You don't actually need to kill any of them, but I would kill at least one of them. That can be really useful because they take a lot of shots. The third one is like an engineer who can build these pipe. He dies and builds a pipe directly down, which can bypass a lot of the world. Like, you can just cheat your way through a bunch of the stages if you know where to put a pipe. Then there's the scout, which is like a ninja. The scout is your best fucking friend in this game. It's got a double jump, he's got a shuriken damage weapon, and when the scout dies, it turns into a warp portal that is at the start, so your scout is just your free checkpoint. Scout is... oh my god, the scout is so good. The last one is a bomber who can't do anything except explode. They can't even attack, so they are just there to blow shit up. Mortal 2 is the first game in a while that I think is a good, like, if you like to prod and poke at a weird game that doesn't really give you a lot to start with and figure out, what are my immediate goals? What am I trying to do? If you were into Planet Zoldath, if you were into, like, fucking divers, I think Mortal 2's got a little bit of that spice to it. It feels very cool. Like, the way you infiltrate the castle feels very cool. And you kind of feel like you're cheating the game when you do it. It's like, oh, can I get all the way up here to the top of this giant tree mini dungeon, you can call it, I guess, if you want. And then I could kind of jump across. Can I invade the castle from above? Oh, I can. That feels so cool. That's awesome. Or you can go in from the sewers, which is way, way harder. Don't do that. And then sharing this one is really fun because it's like, wow, I was barely able to beat this game with the guys I had. Oh, how many guys are left? Like, okay, how many do I have to beat it with? Wow, that seems like a very more number than I did. And trying to figure out where you can be efficient, what needs to be done. Looking at the world map for this one is so fun. That's one of my favorite things about old guidebooks, is looking at basically the screenshotted zoom out of a world map. That's my favorite thing to do at the end of every UFO 50 game, was to go onto a wiki and look at the world map and be like, oh, look at all of it laid out. And I found that, and I found that. Oh, I didn't find that. That's cool. I loved it. I don't think Mortal 2 is better than Mortal 1. I think Mortal 1 is a much tighter game. But I think Mortal 2 is really cool. It's a very different direction to take the game. I'm glad it exists. It's actually more to my sensibilities, and I think I probably had more fun with it, but I gave it a 4 out of 5, and I gave Mortal 1 a 5 out of 5.
I cannot rate this game. Here's my story of Mortal 2. Mortal 2 was my third game that I played in UFO 50. First was Camouflage, and the second was Campanella 2. Rough one as the second game of UFO 15.
Yeah, you have a much more antagonistic relationship with Campanella 2 than I do, which is like a surprise to me.
Well, for one, I didn't have any, like, flow of the UFO itself before this.
Yeah, that's true.
I barely touched into UFO 50 at all about any of it, and it freaking knocks me over the side of the head with, you have one life if you die, start from the beginning. And you can die so easily in that game.
You really can.
And so I struggled with Campanella 2 without pretty much looking up anything about it, which was insane to do. And then I went to Mortol II and looked at there was a live count and like different directions and things like that, and went, I'll look up things about this. And I just looked up a path and went there and finished the game.
Fair enough. Yeah. I had a really good time with it. It's quite mean. It's a lot less friendly than Vainger is, but if you're willing to struggle for a little while and really find your own path, because there is for sure definite best paths, but you can go many, many, many ways. Like, you need bare minimum 8 keys, and there are just keys all over. They're like collectible items, and there's a batch of 4 doors at the back of the castle's first floor, and then there's another one right before the final boss. And you can get those 8 keys anywhere, and some keys are really easy to get. It was so fun to look over the map and be like, am I crazy or is this key stupid? And it's like, yes, this key is stupid. There's no way to get this one without burning another key, so it's functionally a net 0 key. And like finding other ones where it's like, this key's free. You don't even have to have one guy die. Like I had a fun time with that sort of optimization.
Yeah, I will just say I just didn't engage with the game mainly because I was, as I noted, I actually had notes of like almost in real time of just like what I felt about each one. This is a very, very like captures what my feeling was. After the last game, I wasn't up for trial and error, so I looked up a speedrun and had a good time.
Fair enough. Well, I didn't like the next game at all, so if you want to talk about that.
Let's go! Fist Hell! I'm gonna talk about the story stuff later, but generally you can play as one of 4 characters, and you go out and punch zombies. It's because zombies are taking over and you gotta punch because one of the characters' moms is in danger. Oh no! And you go in and you can do a 3-hit combo. There's a jumping kick. And I should probably say that this is a side-scrolling beat-em-up that's sort of, I wouldn't say it's 2.5. You can scroll up and down on it.
It's 2D. 2.5D means something else. 2.5D is like a Kirby in the Crystal Shards. It's a 3D game that's on a 2D plane.
I'm almost positive that's still the right term for like a beat 'em up game that still has the like up and down instead of just purely left and right.
Okay.
Yeah, if anybody wants to correct me, maybe I'm just out of touch for modern biz.
Guys, if I'm wrong, up your donation per month by $10. And if Piff's wrong, up your donation by $11.
Wow. What a weird thing. Anyway.
This guy's a freak. Anyway. Can you tell I've spent too long panhandling with Aloha for 6 months?
Yeah. Yes. Anyway, it's extremely classic. So classic that it is
Bad.
Almost too classic. If you've played Double Dragon 3, which pretty much, as far as I can tell, no one's even heard of that game. Like, Double Dragon's not really a thing people talk about nowadays, and for people who do know, they probably didn't play 3. Who cares about Double Dragon 3? But if you play that, it's basically that, where you have 1 health bar, and if you have your 1 health bar go down, you die. I think you just start at the beginning of the level.
You get infinite continues for the gold completion. Cherry, you gotta do it in 1 life for the real ending.
Yeah. The cherry is basically what Double Dragon 3 was. And I did Double Dragon 3 as a kid, so it actually like, felt right at home doing the weird, like, hit canceling and, like, making sure that you don't spawn enough enemies by going, like, so far into the window and things like that. It is, a game that, like, for people who truly love the old school video game stuff, that is exactly what you'll get. If you like new age beat 'em ups for like combos and being able to have a whole bunch of different moves and dodges and blocks, not so much.
Fistel's kind of rough.
It is what the genre is. And they did a weirdly, like, accurate to the genre. Almost every single one of these games is more like, what if a modern idea was put into an old-style game? Or let's do something weird with it. This one's weirdly just, like, copied of the old style.
Mm-hmm.
It's still hard.
Yeah, I don't know what my deal with this one was. So, it's a 5-hit combo, but you want to stop it at 4 so you can chain enemies together. It's got all the old jank shit where it's like, whichever sprite is beneath the other one is going to have a better range of attack and dodging, so you always want to be further south on the screen than the enemy sprites are, so you want to like lure them up as they spawn in, then roll down. This game looks like it has a good amount of tech with throwing, and there's dodge rolls and there's suplexes. Don't do any of it. None of it gives you iframes. It all does like almost the same amount of damage. You really just want to punch, 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 and just hope you get more than one enemy at a time. I had a ton of trouble with this one. I couldn't even beat it regular flavor. Then I played a little more of it, beat it on stream, and then I just like picked it up one day in a call and quietly cherried it in one try. So I couldn't tell you what my problem is. I guess I just figured it out. I didn't really have fun with Fistel, but the party house host is one of the 4 characters you can play as. You definitely shouldn't pick her. She's the worst one. But
story stuff, fun. Story-wise, yeah, this is like 1-for-1 in the world of Hotfoot.
Citation needed.
Like, that Hotfoot is the closest one of this, but also Party House is part of that, so, you know. You play as some of the characters from that. There's Party House Girl, there's the Mayor, which is very funny. The entire thing is just like, this is horrible, but me, the Mayor, I'll fix it, but he's also like, the person behind it, who could have seen?
Yeah, I kind of love how you just, the last level is breaking into his mansion, and then he just mutates into a freak, and you kill him, and it's like, it turns out the mayor used dark magic to become the mayor, and he made zombies, and you're like, cool, man.
You can throw soda at the rat, no one gives a shit. Cool, man. I'm 35.
Alright. Sure.
Yeah. Like, straight up just deep, like, the pentagram is there, like some sort of like weird dark book or something. Just hell. Like literal hell comes around a few times. UFO 50.
Other than specifically the Amy character, it doesn't have a lot of direct connections to other stuff. I did check. None of the other 3 appear anywhere.
Okay.
Which, like, it feels like they should, right? Like, at least one of the other ones should be in Hotfoot. You know what? I didn't check Hotfoot because I hate it. I did check Party House. Maybe they're in Hotfoot. I didn't look.
I can say, you probably haven't done this one, but if you start the game and then go left, you just go into the Hotfoot, like...
the gym or something.
The gym, yeah.
Yeah. Nope, I didn't do that. Funny. Can I go to OverBold?
Oh, yeah.
OverBold, it's another game with Alpha, the space pirate. OverBold is just fine. It's like a bullet heaven. You're in a little arena. You get to make wagers and go, how many enemies do you think you can survive? And then you can add as many enemies as you want to the next encounter. But you don't want too many at first, because you gotta buy power-ups in between the rounds. So the idea is that you make wagers, You take the money, it's like, okay, I have more health, or this gives me some shields so I don't fucking die immediately if someone explodes near me, or, oh, this is the power that I can lay bombs and enemies are lured to them, which is the only kiting ability in the game, so it's the best one, and you get it if you want to beat this. And you just play it, and it's a perfectly fine time, and it's quite short, and I have nothing else to say about it.
I had a hard time with this one. It was tough. And I tried to just basically go through it with just shooting people, because I didn't understand that the bomb was good.
No, gotta use the bomb. Gotta use that bomb lore.
For people watching, you have to embrace the bomb. That is how you win this game.
Yeah. I can't blame you, because there's some other, like, Alphazar's hat has some bomb abilities, and those are fucking terrible, at least as far as I could tell. I mean, you only need to play that game, like, once or twice to beat it. But, yeah, no, I stumbled into that, and I was like, oh my god, an ability to direct 700 enemies away from me while I pick them off and shoot them. That's crazy. And then every other ability, I was like, please just give me the bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got. Oh boy, look what's next!
It's Campanella 2, baby! Campanella 2 was a rough start for me because this was the first introduction to something hard in UFO 50, and I have to say it was definitely hard. 5 levels, had to use the Campanella's main flying thing to fly around, then had to go through a fairly tough 2D shooting area while something chases you, and you better not be slow about it, and then pick a power-up.
Don't pick the wrong one!
Don't pick the wrong one. Also, we're not going to tell you which each one is. How about this one that is a pink rectangle? Want a pink rectangle?
Oh, is that the one up? Yeah, I'd never figured that out.
I think that is gum. And I think gum heals you?
Gum heals you, yeah. Like in real life.
And then you start finding weird people indoors. And when you see the weird people indoors, you go like, what the hell is this thing? But there's also an egg that has a mantis.
Is this a fucking Thorson Peter game? Yes, it is. Of course it is. Yeah. Why did I even ask?
And remember when he had that other game where there's a mantis coming out of an egg? And there's
I did remember that, actually. Yeah, I did.
Oh my goodness. That. And remember they talk about the sages, and there's sages in this game? Crazy.
Though the sages aren't the mantis. They're different.
No, they're different.
No, they're like fathead guys.
Yeah. I think this is actually a very fun game mechanically. I wish it had more than one life, and that if you died that you might try the level again instead of the entire fucking game. As well as sometimes in the overworld, to actually get from the start to the end, you're going to need to collect enough of these little stars, and you need to collect 10 of them. So sometimes, and this happened quite a few times to me, you will go, let's say you start out and you go like, alright, there's an open area around me, I want to go up and to the right. I'm sorry, there's not enough stars in that direction. So when you actually go around to where you need to go, you've run out of fuel.
And you die.
And you die. So I hate that.
Yeah, it's because it's random level design, which is always bad, and RNG sucks ass. So I like Campanella 2 a lot, but I do agree that sucks, and it has killed a lot of my runs, and this game did take me a ton of runs, and actually it Valbraced me. I made it to the... I'll talk about that in a second. So the way it works is you enter these overworld stages where you're in... You play Isabel, Pilot's sister. Pilot has gone missing. He is captured inside of a big space station that's being taken over by parasites. You, as Isabel, can fly around in her ship, which is the Big Bell. It's just a gray Campanella. And your goal is to find 10 stars in each of the overworld layers, bump into them, and then go to the gold door that opens when the stars are collected. And there's more than 10 stars, but their placement is random. Also, don't collect the stars too fast because there are red doors. And the red doors contain the power-ups you will need to not die and get the cherry ending. So for me, the annoying thing came from finding too many stars too early, and then seeing a bunch of red doors blocked from me by a path with the 10th star in it that I would have to collect, which for some reason shuts the red doors.
Funny joke.
I didn't like that. That it was very punishing and can, again, lock you out of the true ending, which sucks. So you have to avoid some stars and play kind of stupidly. In case it wasn't clear, it's got the same movement abilities as the first Campanella game with the same fuel, except in Campanella 1, you're playing through these tiny, like, pinball machine courses that are just nice and small, and you can pretty much always get through them without running out of fuel, or there are fuel pickups directly in your path halfway. Campanella 2 is RNG, and you can die if the game is mean to you. Oops. You can also walk around as Isabella, which is super cute, except she is small, so if any of the overworld enemies hits her, she fucking explodes. Also, if she drops more than one square, she fucking explodes. That's not good.
If she cannot get back to her Campanella, she explodes, from what I can remember.
I was never in a position where she was able to get far away enough from it, and she couldn't get back to it, but I'm sure that can happen. Yeah, poor girl. And you have to go through a bunch of levels, and they are tough. They are not easy. But I did, despite all that, this game could, like, I gave this a 4 out of 5. This game could be a lot better. It could be polished in a lot of ways to get rid of its mean little corners that you can bump your shins into. But it's a lot like Kick Club, where it took me a ton of tries, but I liked trying the whole time.
That's fair. I honestly tackled this game at the wrong time. It should not be your second game.
Yeah, I mean, like, you did it that way, and you got the Campanella 2 suffered for it, but, like, I did the thing everyone else does, and I started with Barbuda, and you fucking warned me, and I still did it. And
I warn everyone, and they still do it.
I know. I believed you, and you were right. And I was like, I was imagining other people who hadn't gotten the warning, and I was getting angry for their sake. And I was like, oh my god, Barbuda. And Barbuda was like, what if there's a mantis and an egg 3 games from now? And I'm like, what if, Barbuda? I don't know. And Campanella 2, the last thing you do is an escape ship. And one of the power-ups is like, it's a compass and it points you to doors, except it only points you to shops and not the red doors, which are the ones I actually fucking want. Thanks. And in the last area, it's like a get off of Zebes before it explodes, or Zebes, or however you say the Metroid planet. And Pilot's like, come on, let's get out of here. And you're both flying your ships. And for whatever reason, the compass is programmed to point in a direction that is just wrong and leads you to a dead end that kills you. So I successfully cherried the game and had the compass, and I was like, well, surely that's the way out in this otherwise indistinguishable series of corridors. I'll go that way. And I died for it. And I was like, they Valbraced me. I earned the cherry, and then they drilled into my skull to go hee hee hee. Whole skull.
Ready for tinfoil hat?
Sure, man.
Alright, since you actually have a much more detailed and close-up image of the crocodile lady, she has a lot more human aspects than you would think. And, like, very distinct, like, glasses and things like that, and you're like, that's a lot of detail for this character. This feels like it's based off of somebody. Anyway, there's also the secret boss once you get through all the stages, as this kind of, like, weird old guy that's sort of like half a tank, or something like that. That's very easy to just defeat, and then you just kind of, like, leave. And I would like to say that both of those characters are based off of real-life people. You could probably guess about the tank man. The other lady, I'll just say, there's a character that really doesn't show up in any of these games.
Is it the lady who keeps the accounts? Like the
Yeah! Now you're eating the tinfoil.
I've been eating the tinfoil for a while. I just haven't been wearing it is the thing.
Oh, okay.
All right, whatever.
Well, that's it for Campanella for me.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else on there. Hyper Contender. This one also takes place in this kind of overarching space universe, which I guess, fun fact, is vaguely based on the setting of a board game that some of the original directors, not all three of them, and the fucking bartender who I mentioned also worked on it, I think. He was one of the other names. Funny to see him there. I think it was Ace. It doesn't matter at all. But I think Thorson Peter and Smolsky, or someone, did this board game setting, which was like overly complicated, and they don't really directly come back to it. But it includes stuff that appears on planet Zoldath. It includes quibbles, which quibbles first get mentioned somewhere. Maybe it's Zoldath, maybe it's one of the Campanella games, but they definitely get mentioned in Hyper Contender. And later, there is a game called Quibble Race, which is about quibbles, which are like, if you ever played those like those old games like Don't Break the Ice, where they have those like really high physical tower of like, it's like a polar bear and you take hammers. It's like a board game, but like a Jenga type board game. That company had another game called Cooties. Quibbles look like cooties. I don't know who I'm appealing to. This probably isn't helping anybody. Anyway, Hyper Contender is a little arena 1v1 battle thing. You pick a character, rings spawn every 20 ? Seconds, something like that. First one to get 5 rings wins. Every character has a unique movement option, a unique attack, and then a secondary unique attack, which is usually a variation on their attack. It's a short little game. It's just an arcade 1v1 thing. Nothing super fun to mention about it. The cherry requires beating the game with 4 different characters, which is exactly how many of the characters are good and fun to play. So that's great. It is fine. I don't have much thought on it.
Hyper Contenders is in my top 10. I love this game. It's incredible. I had the same experience for this game that you had for Bushido Ball.
Okay.
Everyone had their own like little like end plate to kind of like show what their biz was.
I do like the end plates. That's true. They were good.
Every character was so wholly unique that like just jumping is significantly different than each character. There's their projectiles, and some of them are not even projectiles. Having secondary attacks and all that other stuff, like, yeah, it's very fun to...
Like the fucking yo-yo guy who has to like use a crane to get up, and then he yo-yos across the thing. Couldn't figure him out at all.
I love that. That's the one where you get like a grappling hook arm.
Yeah,
no, that was my favorite character. When you swing with him, it counts as a like melee attack.
Yeah.
It also, your boomerang can do some weird things with that. You can also just grab the rings with your arm instead of actually grappling hooking. And that's just like one character out of 8, and each one plays significantly differently, and some of them are like, this is one of the strongest characters in the game. Also, they have a horrible Achilles heel by doing like this one thing. There's also a rock, paper, scissors thing where like, I think melee attacks beat range or something like that.
Yeah, it's something like that. There's like, yeah, there's melee attacks. Everybody has different priority. Like the weird, I called him the mascot looking guy. Donkus, I think is his name.
Oh.
Like he has the highest priority of anybody. Like his attacks overshadow everyone else for some reason, and everyone's on kind of like a tier list in that regard. Like not like this person's better, but like everyone's got a different number assigned to their attacks. So some people just get hard countered by others. There is a good amount of depth. I just didn't really play this. I didn't get anything out of this game.
I'm gonna briefly go through like the different jump things. Grappling hook, double jump, hover, the jetpack. Somebody uses just mines to shoot themselves up into the air. There's the freaking reverse gravity. There's somebody who uses an elevator.
Yep.
Oh, I can't remember what the last jump thing was.
I think it's just Donkus's, which is it's like a crouch and then an arced jump. But the longer you charge it, the more it turns into a jump that goes straight up.
And then there's all of the range options. Oh yeah, I was going to say, so you can actually block in this game. I can't remember which way this goes, but there's basically melee, ranged, and block is kind of like a rock, paper, scissors thing. And you can combine a lot of these things together to like stun your enemy and hit them. They don't have life, but they have a ring drop out of them and collect them. So it seems like an enclosed, like super melee fighting ring with the like coin attack or whatever the flip game mode that was.
From like Smash Bros, you mean?
Yeah, Smash Bros.
Grab the coins?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Except it's a lot more like, here is a small number and kind of capture the flag-ish. I had a really good time with it. And again, another versus game that feels completely different than all the other versus games that have been there.
Yeah, no thoughts on that one.
Valbrace.
Yet another one of these games that starts with a V and has a nonsense title. Let's go.
Let's go! You're a knight that is, I'm assuming, trying to defeat some sort of, otherworldly beings.
Yeah, it's like the Star Dimension Lord or something, Lord of Dark. You know, it's a quest. You're on a quest.
You're on a quest and you're a knight and you get stripped of all of your armor and weapon. I think you still have like a weapon, but not your weapon.
Yeah, you're given like a fucking shitty ass stick sword that's useless.
And you go into some sort of weird dream dimension thing that basically is a dungeon crawl. And it's like old school dungeon crawl where it has that sort of like 90-degree like turn. It's down like a corridor, and then like you hit the end of it and then you do another 90-degree turn to go down like another corridor. But when you get into an enemy fight, it turns into a pseudo punch-out game where you use whatever weapon you have to defeat the enemies across from you. If you have like a shield, you can block. You can also just move to the side to avoid attacks. You can also hit them during their wind-up to like stun them and prevent the attack from going through, which certain enemies, they attack very quickly, so sometimes you just kind of hit each other at the same time. And the game gets more and more elaborate. There's spells. There's a whole bunch of item pickups.
How do the spells work?
Well, you draw them, of course, in a certain period of time to actually cast them, and if you have enough magic, it gets casted, and if you don't, you can't. And still eats a little bit of your magic for even trying.
Yeah, that's mean. I wish it didn't do that.
You get magic back by hitting people in fights, or walking around, like, or passing time, specifically. It's a little bit, but it can add up and save you from dying by healing yourself. Learning magic. You have to physically find them around and memorize them or write them down. And
write them
cast
down.
Them.
Old school style. You gotta remember those sigils.
I had actually a really good time with this game. It is in my top 5. I loved this game.
I really liked Valbrace when I started it, and it did wear on me the longer I played it. It's not a roguelike. I've seen people who think it is one. It's not. The floors are completely consistent. They're designed the exact same way every time you play the game. But the chests in them are randomized per death and per play, which is so dumb. I don't know why they did the Skyrim chests thing in this game.
So the chests are in the same place, but there's things that they drop aren't.
Yeah, they're content. That's what I meant. Like, the chests are, you'll open it. Sometimes you'll go, okay, the only way to get to this chest is, I mean, if you know the fly spell from the end of the game and you have enough magic to use it, I guess you can do that, motherfucker. But if you've already beaten the game, like, then who cares if you're replaying it? But it's just like, I have to walk across some of the acid. And you do that, and it's like, hey, the acid and poison is functionally a full health bar drop to 0 over time. And hopefully you have some magic so you can heal during that period. And like, you know, that's a lot of your resources. Like, you can get killed by one bad enemy encounter at the wrong time now, and that ends your whole run on this floor. So doing all that and opening it and sometimes getting like, you got a rat heart. It's like, hey man, why don't you just fucking close the game for me if you're gonna do that and save me the time? And other times it's like, you got steel plate armor, the best armor in the game. And I'm like, I hard disagree on these things being randomized, which you know what I decided by the end?
Yeah.
Like we talked about this because you saw me playing some of this on stream. I had a very different play style to you. You've got a stamina bar, so there's a lot of invisible stats to all the weapons. So like, weapons have a strength requirement to even wield them. And your 3 stats are strength, magic, and stamina. And strength is, on the surface, the only thing it directly tells you it does is, you assume it helps damage, which it does, and it allows you to pick up different weapons. But also, the more strength you have, the less stamina per swing every single weapon uses. And some are like quick weapons, and you can swing this club like 5 times before your current bar goes down, and you have to wait for it to recharge and move out of the way of enemies. And if you're using this sword, it deals like 10 damage, but you can only swing it twice before you have to wait for a recharge. And it's like kind of impossible to know which weapons are going to be good and which weapons are going to be bad until you've gotten them, because again, there's no weapon descriptions, and you can really fuck yourself by exchanging one weapon or giving something away to the Red Knight or selling something in hopes that the thing the crone is carrying is good, which like I know you and I now know like the crone's wares are kind of shit, but like a new player on floor 1 and 2, maybe they're gonna want to get a shield or something. Like I ended up rocking these bracers for all of the game because they give passive poison damage to my sword swings, which, just because of the way my stats ended up and the way that poison ticked down enemies, meant usually I could 1-round enemies instead of having to wait to 2-round them. And that just made them the best option for me. I saw a lot of people online echo that same sentiment, but then it also fucked me over real bad on the last floor when like half the enemies were immune to poison and had the exact sweep that it's like, this would be so easy to kill if I had a shield, but the downside of these is that you don't have a shield to use. And it's like, I think my ending conclusion was, Valbrace is really cool. I would like Valbrace so much more if it were like 8 smaller floors of dungeon. Or even 10, honestly. The fact that it's, I think, 6, I want to say.
I think it's 5, but it might be 6. It's probably 6.
Including like the little opening prologue floor that takes 1 minute, I think it's 6. And I was like, yeah, like, I like this, but you end up spending a long fucking time in the same area, and there's only like 3 backgrounds, and, I kept dying because I'm a chump. But there were a lot of times where I would make a ton of progress on a floor, and it would take a long fucking time, because enemy encounters are random and they fucking take a while. So you can spend 20 minutes on a single floor.
Or even longer.
And then way longer. And then it's like, well, that sucks. Time to do that again. And like the retry time is not great. So I was really loving the exploration of Valbrace when the dungeons were a little smaller and it was kind of easier to keep the mental map in my head. But like, by the time I got to the last couple floors, I was like, man, I'm ready for this to be over, dude. And I played it over like 4 days.
Yeah, my experience was relatively straightforward. I actually only had to play 1 floor over again, and that was the last floor.
That's still pretty rough. I died on the every floor at least 5 times. I don't know what I was doing. Well, I didn't know you could shield for a while. That was a big issue. Didn't figure that one out because I'm stupid.
Guess what got me?
Guess what got you?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Jester or the final boss?
Correct, it's the final boss. I went up into the final boss and went, oh fuck, I didn't swap my weapon.
That sucks. That sucks so bad.
So I intentionally lost to restart the floor.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because this is how I play it, and for an easier time, I would highly recommend using the rapier. It is one of the best weapons in the game, and there's so many people online that'll go, nah man, the club. And I go, fuck your club, use the goddamn rapier. It is the lowest stamina cost and has a good amount of damage. Use that one. It stunned people. Isn't that neat? And I go, yeah, but if I stab someone, they die.
I mean, the rapier was good too, but the problem was I gave it away for something before I realized, your inventory is so limited, and, you had to come in and be like, Jello, here is how you get extra inventory slots. I'm like, why on earth would I ever do that? Piff? And you were like, and I'm like, ah!
So this is also important. There's a red knight around. Give them every single item that is like a potion or some like tusk that you found on the ground, or like, hey, you like swapped out for some like other better armor, so give them something. Like, just give them everything in your pocket, because they will give you extra inventory space and a little bit of max health, and you should get like one of each per floor.
Legit, if I had figured that out and had one more HP boost at the start of the game, I legit think I would have died at least half as much less. Like, because that would have been a compounding thing where all of my runs were a little easier. And I didn't figure it out until you told me. And like, it wasn't like I was stupid and didn't try using the give option. I gave him 3 things, but it's random. Sometimes he's like, oh, 2 things, a gift for you. Sometimes he takes 5. I don't know why. And then afterwards, sometimes you'll hand him like a potion, a valuable potion, a 3rd valuable potion, a sword I don't need anymore, and a 5th valuable potion. And he'll be like, thank you, knight, a rat heart for you. And it's like, okay, I've learned my lesson not to give you things, you know? Like,
Sure, yeah.
Again, like you say this about Skyrim all the time, where you hate the randomness aspect of the loot. And I'm like, if Valbrace has concrete maps, and it has concrete chest locations. If it had a curated experience, even if the knight was like, can you get me this, a specific thing on every floor, oh my god, that would make such a fucking difference. Because like, I love that quest where he's like, I'm looking for this special weapon in this dark room. And I spent a while digging for that because I was like, I really want to give that to that knight. And that was a good quest. And I liked that. But yeah, I don't know. This game has incredible bones. It's really cool, and I would change some of the muscles on it, if that makes sense. But it's definitely good. It's a very cool game. Also worth noting, the sprite art for every weapon is completely different, which is really cool.
Yes. Also, the middle stages, the ooze. What a weird and gross stage. But also, it's like kind of mold themed. Like, there's a lot of mushrooms around.
I, for real, thought you were gonna go, like, goo. It's almost like ghost. Piff.
He's a phantom. Ghost. Wouldn't that be funny? No, I just thought that was, like, kind of notable. Also, the last boss has one of the coolest designs in this game. That was great. I like that guy.
Okay. Next up is Rakshasa. This is one of the hardest games in the collection. It's Indian-flavored ghosts and goblins, and it's just as mean.
I think it's probably like the 3rd hardest, if I had to rank them.
It's up there. For me, I think Star Waspir is probably the hardest. Then I think Rakshasa might be number 2. I don't know what's harder than that.
Onion delivery.
Oh my god, you're so right. Rakshasa's unique little gimmick is that when you die, you start the game dead, and you come back to life, and you can get a game over immediately if you want, before you even come back to life. There are little spirit rings that you have to grab. Only one at first, and a little enemy spawns out of it. And you have to do this little bullet hell to resurrect by grabbing the spirit rings. If you die again, there are more enemies and more spirit rings to grab, over and over and over again, until once you're at 4 deaths, the living world starts to try and kill your ass too. There's like secret hard mode bosses that are worse. Torches, which are normally power-ups, shoot fireballs at you. It's rough. But really, once you die in Rakshasa in one hit, you lose your power-up, which means you can't do shit, and you're gonna die again over and over and over again. So, really, you should just restart once you die. I truly believe that. I think the resurrection gimmick in Rakshasa barely works, which is a shame, because it's a cool idea. Rakshasa is just hard and mean, and it's hard and mean, and if you have a power-up and you're paying attention and you lock in, you could probably do okay, but shit will spawn on top of you, better be careful. Shit will spawn in front of you. Better be really careful because you don't have a damaging hurt box right in front of you, which is crazy. It's just a mean ass game. I have a weird relationship with it where like it's the game I was maddest at for sure in this whole collection. But I would put it down in frustration, go downstairs, do some chores, and go, I want to fucking play more Rakshasa. Like, I don't know. Like, so something about it works, but it is fucking rude.
When I played Rakshasa, I went, oh no, this is Ghosts and Goblins. And it is Ghosts and Goblins. And the problem with that is, when you jump, you had a delayed maneuver afterwards. You don't run very fast.
No, you do not.
And there's infinitely spawning enemies. And God, they can swarm you so fast. I think I'm in a similar boat where I'm like, this is one of the hardest games. I also think it is fun.
It's with a heavy heart that I must say this game is pretty okay.
For people who are like in it for the challenge, that enjoy challenging games, I think they will like this game way more than us, and probably think it's one of the best games of the list. It is... The game's even a little meaner than Jello says, because depending on how many skulls you have, not just at 4, but even before that, each skull will actually slightly increase the difficulty of, like,
yeah, I mentioned it. There's
people.
there's more little dudes and more things that spawn in. It gets harder.
The drops are, like, worse.
Drops are worse. Yeah, the drops in this game, again, random, shouldn't be. You really can just get a drop that's like, here's an extra genie, or time, especially. It's like, it's weird. I don't know what else the fucking cherry should be. Like, I don't want to play Rakshasa and be like, beat it with only like 2 or less deaths or whatever. It's like, I don't want to deal with that. But also, the points are so arbitrary in Rakshasa because most of them come from time to complete level, and if you just grab timers, which can spawn randomly, congrats, that's like 100,000 points, dude.
It kind of wants you to do, like, weird loops where, like, things spawn and give you, like, more points and things like that if you, like, do all that stuff, but in most cases that just slows you down way too much to a point where, like, those points don't matter, and gets you into more trouble because you're in an area with more spawning enemies.
Yep.
So, yeah, it is a difficult game. The 2 power-ups I would recommend would be the Fireball and the Homing. Fireball for damage, Homing for damage.
The really niche one spot where that stupid spread rainbow shotgun is good is the bosses at the end of the second stage. It's good on them, but so are the normal attacks, so...
yeah.
Other than that, you really... like, getting those is worse than dying if you grab them by accident.
Like, they still work, but, like, you want the other two.
God, oh man. And then the thing that would always happen is you open a torch and then you get killed, so you've deleted the torch power-up, so even when you resurrect, you can't even go to it to get a power-up. It's so mean.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of hidden... You can take an extra hit if you've got a little ghoul floating around you. And the ghoul hatches from eggs and has one eye, now that I think about it. There's hidden ghouls if you stand in certain weird spots. I would look up where those are. They make a big difference.
And 1-ups. Because there's 1-ups in these games.
There's 1-ups. I think the ghouls are more helpful.
True, but reducing difficulty's pretty good.
The toughest part of the game is right after the first boss. There's a room with a bunch of fucking frogs. And
yeah,
those frogs have every benefit an enemy in the game could possibly have. They have exactly enough health to not die in one hit from any weapon except the fireball, I think. They're short, so you have to, like, duck to hit them. They can travel down through platforms, which is terrifying. They have a huge range on their tongue attack, and they jump in really awkward arcs that will hit you, and they can spawn on top of you. And there's gonna be like 4 of them on screen at once. That room is horrible. The biggest thing about Rakshasa is making sure you have a power-up by the end of the first boss, so that you can get through that room a little easier.
Star Waspir! Our favorite escape! So, So Star Waspir is a bullet hell. It is exactly what you think a bullet hell is if you've never played a bullet hell. And also, good luck in spelling. Because each and every single time you defeat an enemy, it gives you a power-up box that has E, and then the next two ones that will spawn will be 2 Gs, making egg. Egg returns.
This is an egg. If you break it, it splatters.
You can pick one of 3 characters, ignore the other 2, pick the middle one.
Yeah.
How dare they give you options that suck? For them, I believe getting 3 Gs is its best power-up, giving you an extra bullet shot, giving you extra damage, as well as giving you a tiny shield to prevent from getting shot with bullets.
Yep. And it takes enough shots it goes down, so you need to replenish your Gs every once in a while.
Your Gs. And Gs are plentiful. That's great. There's also other power-ups that are semi-useful, like all Es can give you some like high damage output for like some pretty serious sections that you might need some extra firepower to just get ahead of enemy spawns, but egg. Keep spelling egg to get multipliers so you can get a cherry as well as extra lives.
You need a lot of points. You need to get a fuck ton of egg if you want to cherry this game.
Stu, that's 144 eggs. Gross.
You need to map out the first area to a T to just be like, here is as much egg as I can get, and then the second area, which you didn't see Jello do, because I don't think you utilize this aspect of it. When you're holding down the button for firing, it fires straight. But if you tap the button while moving, your character does full movement, but also does like the spread shot thing. In the second area, the spread shot's actually pretty good. For most of these, like, enemies are just kind of like randomly spawning around the area. Most of them are like low enough health that that spread shot will just take care of them.
And then you get to wave 3.
And then hell happens. Because they're just like, what if it was the hardest enemies, along with shields of falling rocks that take even more hits to actually destroy, and they're all RNG. Placement, how many they are, if they're big or small. Get fucked, I guess.
Horrible level. It's like 90% of the game's difficulty. If you can get through that level, you could probably beat the game pretty easily. Like, it's not free, but it's way easier. And this fits with Piff's ghost theming, because when you play level 3, the theme is you becoming a ghost over and over and over again.
You are a ghost.
You didn't mention the fun thing about this game, which is that in addition to spelling the letter shit over and over again, if you get a single combo that isn't one of the pre-existing letter combos, your score resets to fucking 0. So in certain
Score multiplier.
You're okay, yeah, but frankly, what's the difference?
Fucking up my cherry clear.
I guess. Functionally, it turns the power-ups into obstacles too. If you're going up for the cherry and it's like, uh-oh, I missed one, so now my egg thing isn't going smoothly, and I would be getting Eggy instead of egg. Better dodge that E. And, like, you know, sometimes it's like you're trying to spell egg over and over again, then you grab a G first, and it's like, fuck, okay, I have to clear this out. Like, it's tough.
An easy way to remember what is a power-up and what isn't, because you're going to have to find that out.
Yeah, good luck figuring that out on your own, by the way, especially if you're trying out all the 3 characters.
If the last 2 letters match, it's a power-up. If they do not match, it is not a power-up. It's the easiest way to do that, because you're going to need a lot of brain power for everything else.
Yeah, it's tough, because normally in a bullet hell, if you haven't memorized shit and you're like panicking, your eye is just glued to your little guy, so you can move left, right, up, and down and not get hit. But like, you can't just be looking there, you have to be looking at the letters falling towards you. Maybe you're like deep in an egg chain and it got broken and you're like, wait, where am I? And you have to like flick your eyes top left to see the egg chain. The whole screen is just not your friend because it's a fucking horizontal bullet hell scroller. I don't know why they did this. It's such a bad idea. Some of the power-ups are completely useless. Like if you're piloting the gray ship for no reason and you get, I don't know which one it was. I gave up on that ship ages ago. But one of them is like, it summons a second big ship and it shoots a huge blast. And it's like, it summons the second ship in a random spot on the screen. And it's like, cool, dude. There's no enemies there. Thanks for the help.
Yeah.
And then on the yellow ship, which is the one we recommend, you can get GEE. And that's like a screen wipe nuke that deals not enough damage to kill the weakest enemy in the game. So what's the point?
It clears bullets from the screen, which is not useful.
Not good.
Not for the, like, mental gymnastics you need to do for G. Honestly, for me, the hardest game in UFO 15.
I haven't done Onion Delivery or Cyber Owl's Cherry yet, but I think I agree. Rakshasa took a lot of tries, but I did feel like I was steadily getting better at it. Star Waspir is so exact and so punishing, and it's not really fun. For me, at least. I was playing it, I was like, God, I wish I were playing Toho Unidentified Fantastic Object, which I guess is appropriate.
I don't do bullet hell. As I mentioned before, I kind of like my difficulty as a spike instead of a large plateau.
Oh, well, good news. There's a difficulty spike in this game, Piff. I don't know if you noticed it.
It has a plateau to a spike to another plateau. Not particularly too fun.
I mean, it's just a difficulty spike that's been raised off the ground 2 miles. What's the problem?
If those meteors were not RNG, I think I can respect this game more. No, I can't.
No, it's this one's a mistake. I also like the spelling idea, but there's just too much going on for it to be viable.
There's also, like, the background.
That
also is constantly, like, flashing because it's scrolling, like, the environment.
Like, and it's funny because level 3 actually doesn't hurt my eyes to look at, and level 1 and 2 do because you're flying so close to the ground, your shadow's right underneath you, and also you've got all of these little floating drones around you, and then there's bullets from you and bullets from the enemies, and it's like, then you explode, and it's like, what killed me? I was looking directly at myself, but there's this little solar system of bullshit orbiting my guy, and it's all the same color. So, like, of course I didn't see the bullet, you know? It's just, like, I don't play a lot of shmups at all. This one's not a good bullet hell. It's just not a good game.
I'm gonna have to refer that knowledge to you because, like, I haven't played enough. I didn't like it too hard.
I mean, I played 7 of the Toho games, which is where most of it comes from, and, like, they're harder than, like, I've beaten Star Waspir, so most of the Toho games I've played are harder than it, but they also feel fair and they are fun. Star Waspir is neither of those things.
Well, Jello, it's time.
I love Grimstone so much. I like RPGs so much, and I think the way I described this on the sheet was, hey Jello, check out this cowboy RPG. The cardboard box is already falling down around me as I grab the cheese.
I was so excited when you got to this one.
Me too. It's a Final Fantasy 1 or 2 or 3 style RPG set in the same cowboy world as Rail Heist. The state of Texas has been ripped and thrown into hell where it belongs. And it's called The World of Lone Star. The game opens up with a meeting between 7 people and this lady who's talking and her dog. And she goes, "What's that? Fire, ah!" And she dies immediately. And then a wandering angel you take control of, and they look around and go, "Well, gee, there's a bunch of people in this saloon burning down. I guess I better pick some of them to save." And you better pick the right ones, you stupid idiot.
I did, kind of.
Grimstone is the only game on my rating list that has multiple scores, because I truly, really do think this game is a completely different video game and a completely different difficulty level, depending on who you pick. I'll go over the options very fast. I'm me, and I'm crazy. So again, I did a tier list of this one with way too long essays on each character that I need to go. I played this game twice, and it's like 12 hours long. And I'm like, maybe I should play Grimstone again. It's not even that good. I just really like it. So there's Bull, who is a cowboy. He looks like a cowboy. He's described as like a cowboy he looks like a cowboy, but he seems like he has a good heart. Very standard good guy to pick. He has a gun. He has access to, I think, every gun, actually, which is crazy. And he's just got good attack and defense and no spice, and that's fine. You've got, okay, this will be my second party first. So you got Lee, who is your blue mage generalist, kind of fast, can kind of do a lot, can learn enemy abilities from enemies. Umbra, who is the Native American red mage, I guess? She's a healer, and she's the only character in the game with spells that can damage enemies in a way that matters. And she's also the only character who can hit 8 enemies at once. Pick Umbra. And then Doc, who is a doctor. He's an item-based healer, and he pairs very well with Umbra because A, it gives you 2 sources of healing, which is great. But also, Umbra is pulling from like the mana SP well, and Doc is pulling from items, so they're not competing with each other from the same, like for the same pools and resources, if that makes sense. So they work really well, and it's nice to have both of them on your team. And Doc actually deals like a weirdly good amount of damage with the base pistol. It's kind of insane. And that was the second team I played the game with. I followed my heart, and my heart led me to Cowboy Hell. I think, no joke, I almost picked the worst possible team you could have, provided you pick a team of 4, because you don't have to. You can pick just one guy and go, yeah, I think I saved enough, let's go. You just leave and play the game as one guy. I wouldn't do that. That sounds crazy to me. But there's Maria. Maria is, they present her as a thief. She's more like a sniper. She has the highest DPS in the game and can't do anything good except kill things. She is one of the protagonists of Rail Heist, so I obviously picked her because it was nice to see her again. I liked the direct connectivity. There's, oh fuck, who are the others? Pearl. Pearl is Bull, but worse. She has less than him. She can use less weapons. She deals less damage. She's got a lot of HP, but can't wear armor, so she's not a tank. She is Bull, but worse. And she doesn't really have a story tie-in anywhere in the game, so, like, sorry, Pearl, you shouldn't be in the game. And then, who's the other one that's not a dog? Anne. Anne is good. She's the dancer. She's like a bard. She's not good until the mid-game, but she gets the best full party buff. She's very, very useful overall. And she has the best unique story beat. There's a dog. There's a one-eyed puppy. And you are, it's like, who do you save from the fire? And it's like, the owner who got this meeting fucking died. And her poor dog is right there. Will you save the dog? And I'm like, yeah, it feels appropriate. I'll save the dog. Wrong. Tricked. The dog is a trap. The dog is an auto battler who just attacks a random person every turn. And the way this game works is you've got a bar and it's like there's a little yellow area that's like, that's a hit, and a tiny red area that's like, that's a critical hit or a full power hit. And every time you shoot a gun or swing a knife, you want to be hitting that red. You, the player, are in control of that. It is not very hard to get pretty good at this game. You're going to be hitting orange pretty much the whole time. I saw some people who said they were like, it's really hard. I don't know, skill issue. You're going to be hitting orange, if not red. Rufus has been programmed, the dog, has been programmed to miss like 40% of the time. And then on top of that, hit orange another 40% of the time. And a lot of enemies in the game dodge most orange attacks. Like, you have to hit them with red or it just doesn't work. So Rufus misses 60% of the time. And to make up for that, you think he would do the most damage in the game? He's not even in the upper half. It's literally pathetic. He can't wear armor. He can't equip anything. He doesn't get more powerful with weapons. You just have to find dog treats in the overworld. And he removes one of your turns from the action economy, so you can't use an item to help your teammates. It literally just makes the game way harder. You know what? I could have made it worse had I picked someone else besides Anne, because Anne has a healing ability. Grimstone is either a quite solid, surprisingly full-length cowboy RPG that is fun and good if you pick Doc and or Umbra and or Anne. Any two of those. Any one of those if it's not just Anne. You should pick two of them, though. All three of them are great, and it should be Umbra. You should pick Umbra and Doc. Pick Umbra and Doc. If you don't have them, you have no healing. And this game has these long stretches of going across the monster-infested desert where you have such limited inventory and such limited items. You're going to be poor all the time because you're constantly dying and losing half your money. And I'm good at RPGs. And when I was playing this game with the bad party, I was dying every dungeon like, oh man, anywhere between like 3 to 8 times. It took so long to get anything done. Grimstone, if you don't have a healer, is a survival RPG. It's like a horror game where every enemy could be your doom. It's terrifying, it sucks. So my recommendation to you is to pick two of Umbra, Anne, and Doc. And if you do that, I think you will have a very good time. I think the game is really fun. I think it's balanced pretty well. It's got fun lore about the demons ripping you down into hell and you just being cowboys. I don't really want to talk too much in depth about this game, to be honest. I think it should just be experienced. It's a cowboy RPG. It's kind of basic, but it's got a lot more quality of life shit than most actual old RPGs do.
I'll sprinkle in two other things, and I think story-wise I'll keep my mouth shut about such things. But Umbra, absolutely one of the best characters.
Yeah.
If you pick the right spells. You can pick the wrong spells and just have a actually just worse character.
That's true. I think most of them, and again, these are in my stupid tier list, you can look at them. There are some uses for most of Umbra's spells, but most of them it's just like, oh, oops, I picked something that another character that's in my party learns, and I didn't realize that, and there's no reason to have two of these. At the very start of the game, Umbra can talk to animals, and it'll go, I can teach you one of two spells. Which one do you want? And the very first one is this rabbit who's like, I can teach you heal, which costs nothing and lets you heal anywhere, including in the overworld, which no other healing ability in the game does. Or I can teach you eat a pile of dog crap. The spell allows you to lose the game. Pick heal. Like the other ones. Heal and gust. I don't know. To me, I thought most of them were obvious, but I was coming from a place of having literally just completed the game.
Right.
Yeah. Also, I didn't finish this thought. I said I was like, oh my god, I was losing 3 to 6 times each dungeon. I suck so much ass. Just for reference, I breezed through the game so fast on the other party when I finally got healing. And it wasn't like, oh, I have prior knowledge. It was like, oh, the game is correct now because I was supposed to have this the whole time. And like, the last 2 dungeons are very long. Like, the penultimate dungeon has 4 bosses in it. And I think to get to the end of it, it took 6 trips on my first party. Did it in 1 on my second, and like had shit to spare, and I was like, oh my god, this is so easy now.
I will touch upon the dog. There's 2 things about the dog that is important. Late game, it is the only character that can basically just gain stats.
Late game meaning right in front of the final dungeon, by the way. Like, yes, end of the game. It's over.
End game. And 2, there is one item in the game that you can equip to the dog. Not one. There's
a
handful,
couple,
but,
yeah. There's bandanas.
But there's one bandana that is better than the rest of the bandanas for the dog. And it gives the dog eyes.
It gives the dog big eye emojis. And if you don't have that, the dog will never hit anything in the last dungeons.
Yeah, that, like, one, like, section that, like, will have like, a mischance will just be filled with the red marker, actually. And will never miss, and will have a higher chance of hitting in the red area. Pretty cool. I will say the, like, hitting that, like, specific endpoint with some characters where they're just like, do 4 of these in a row, which is, like, very, like, powerful. It's hard to execute reds on each one of those. And if you're to the left of it, perfectly fine. If you're to the right of it, you miss.
You miss, yeah. There's a couple characters. The most you can stack on anyone is 6 shots in one attack, which obviously is cracked, but it's really hard to hit all 6. It's a fair trade-off, I think.
Yeah. There's still some execution difficulty, but I think it's a really good RPG for a lot of reasons. It is one of my favorite games.
I love Grimstone. I've been thinking about it for weeks. I'm so sad there's probably never in any way going to be a Grimstone 2. Mossmouth, if you make another Grimstone game, I know it makes no sense. Just make one on its own, please. I want to play it.
For people that are like, should I get UFO 50? Pay the $25 to just play Grimstone. Shrug.
Grimstone, Vainger, and Warp Tank are just... They're just full-ass games that are totally good and worth playing.
So... Lords of Disconia.